It was supposed to be just another flight cruising at 35,000 feet. Passengers in first class sipped champagne, checked emails, and relaxed before takeoff. But within moments, the calm shattered. A young black woman was singled out, her every move scrutinized, her presence treated like a threat. To some, it looked like arrogance versus authority. But behind the surface was something far more dangerous, a storm about to break. Because this passenger wasn't who they thought she was, and what happened next would freeze billions. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories, like this. Her name was Amara. To most, she appeared like any other young traveler, simple attire, headphones, a book in her hand. But beneath that calm exterior was a life few could imagine. She was the only daughter of one of the world's most powerful black billionaires, a man who built his empire from the ground up. Amara had grown up in boardrooms and charity galas, yet she longed for normalcy. She loved flying, seeing new places, and blending in unnoticed. That day, she booked her first-class seat alone, wanting nothing more than quiet skies. But racism doesn't pause for wealth, status, or upbringing. It can find you anywhere, even 30,000 feet in the air. And while Amara was used to whispers and stares, she had no idea this journey would test not only her patience, but the power her family carried behind the scenes. It began with something small. The flight attendant glanced at her boarding pass longer than necessary. A pause, a raised eyebrow, a hesitation that spoke louder than words. Then came the comments, subtle but sharp. Was she supposed to be in first class? Did she know how much this ticket cost? Passengers shifted in their seats, some uncomfortable, others entertained by the unfolding tension. Amara stayed calm, but the scrutiny escalated. The attendant's tone turned cold, her movements more aggressive. When Amara politely asked for water, the glass was slammed onto her tray. When she adjusted her seatbelt, the attendant snapped that she was holding up the plane. The humiliation wasn't private, it was public, intentional, and sharp enough to cut. The final straw came moments later. Without warning, the attendant shoved Amara's bag from the overhead bin, insisting she had taken space that wasn't hers. Gasps erupted. Phones came out. Passengers whispered, but few intervened. In that instant, Amara's mask of calm slipped. Not because she feared embarrassment, but because she knew something the attendant didn't. The moment had already spun out of control. Her father's empire was built on influence that stretched far beyond business, banks, airlines, law firms, governments. And within seconds of this act of prejudice, wheels were turning that the flight attendant could never undo. The push came hard enough to knock Amara slightly off balance. Her book hit the floor, her dignity trampled before an audience of strangers. The attendant's words dripped with venom. "People like you don't belong here." Silence fell, and then everything shifted. Amara picked up her phone. She didn't cry. She didn't argue. She typed a single message. 30,000 feet above the ground, the unimaginable happened. Screens on Wall Street flickered red. Within 60 seconds, 1.3 billion of the airline's assets were frozen by her father's attorneys. Transactions halted. Creditors panicked. The airline's survival trembled mid-air. The attendant thought she had stripped Amara of dignity. Instead, she had stripped her own company of power. When the plane landed, chaos awaited. News cameras swarmed. Videos had already gone viral. The world watched in disbelief as a black billionaire's daughter, treated like an intruder in first class, brought an airline to its knees. The flight attendant was escorted away, her arrogance drowned out by the roar of accountability. But for Amara, the impact was more than financial. It was a reminder that racism spares no one, not even those shielded by wealth. It can humiliate, wound, and expose the fragility of human decency. Yet it also revealed the power of exposure, of refusing to stay silent. The question remains, how many more stories like this must unfold before prejudice finally loses its wings? Comment below where you're watching from. Take care.